crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadroo.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. All right, we hit 100,000, woo-woo, 100,000 subscribers. Well, YouTube might take some away if they get mad at me, but we hit it, first time ever. That's a lot of dancing. It hasn't been easy, it hasn't been fun. There's so much I can't talk about. That's why I highly suggest going onto the private road and getting all that information. We also have a Patreon channel that we post the videos on. But yeah, 100,000 YouTube. We'll see how long I last on YouTube. As soon as they start banning discussions of silver and cryptos, which I think are coming, I'll probably be kicked off instantly. So keep an eye out on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video. Let's keep this rolling. I don't know what you're supposed to get something at 100,000. I thought I didn't get anything yet. Anyway. So thank you for your support, and let's get into it. I just posted the latest Jenny Moonstone discussion. How will investments in silver and Theta change our future? We took a step back, a broader look at the next couple years, and wow, lots of changes coming. Jenny and I both see a big collapse of everything this year. We won't know the price of silver. We won't know the price of cryptos. We won't know the price of anything when the banks fail. Just keep that in mind. When you see cryptos are going down, oh no. Remember, that's in dollar terms. You still have the same amount of Bitcoin that you had when you started. You still have the same amount of Theta. Actually, you have more Theta because you probably staked your Theta in Theta Fuel, and you're earning more Theta Fuel. So the way we think of assets, how we value them, is going to change very fast. The criminal, corrupt system that we have, when it goes down, everything changes. Everything changes. You won't say, oh, I have, you won't care about $600 silver or $6,000 silver because the dollar will be not used anymore at that point. When the banks collapse because of the derivative meltdown, the dollar will not be used anymore. The fiat money will not be used anymore. So you'll be thinking of your ounce of silver as an ounce of silver, which is. It's a standalone asset. Gold is a standalone asset. All the other banks can collapse. You're still going to have your gold. Cryptos, if you hold them in your own possession, are standalone assets. Anybody got caught up in this DeFi insanity, get your coins out if you can. I heard a lot of people can't anymore. And that's part of the takedown of this latest takedown of the cryptos. Run out of the Treasury and the New York Fed and the Exchange Stabilization Fund. Part of that takedown, which is happening right now, your tax money is paying for the takedown of cryptos. Part of that is the collapsing of DeFi. They allowed it to run to get everybody into it, and then they're going to collapse it to destroy as much as they can. And then we start again. They won't destroy it all because they know that cryptos are our future. Why do you think Gary Gensler wrote this massive regulatory framework? Now he just needs the people to say, oh, yes, come save us, Gary Gensler. Come save us, SEC, from these criminal crypto people and criminal bankers. Come save us. It's all bullshit. Gary Gensler was part of the decision-making to collapse the cryptocurrency. And don't tell me, Gary, that you're not involved. Obviously, you're involved. Just like Chris Giancarlo, the head of the CFTC, said, yeah, we couldn't let Bitcoin run. This is 2017, 2018. At the CFTC, he was the head guy, and he said we couldn't let cryptos run, so we had to invent these crypto derivatives that would tamp down the price. When regulators turn into market makers, you know you're screwed. So that's where we are. I highly suggest getting cryptos and silver in your own possession. Now's the time to be on the sidelines in your lawn chair watching the chaos. It will go to zero. It'll probably all go to -0. Minus $40. Remember when oil went to minus $40? In derivative markets, anything can go to minus $40. Silver can go to minus $40. Bitcoin can go to minus $40. These are not real exchanges. It's all fake. It's all fraud. Both trying to delay the inevitable, which is the end of the old system, and get as much of the real assets into the hands of the insiders. So just keep that in mind as you watch the collapse of everything. It might jump to $1 million too. That's a click of a mouse. So a click of a mouse can make Bitcoin go to minus $40 or $1 million a coin. That's the world we live in. Same with silver, same with gold, same with anything. Everything is derivative now. I've been screaming this for 15 years. And I used to scream it at the Silver Summit before they kicked me out. And I was saying, hey, the price of silver is determined by computers and derivatives. And I pointed out the number one control mechanism of computer rigging is a company called Virtu Financial, working with the banks and behind the scenes with the bad guys. Virtu Financial. Gary Gensler's new regulations could completely destroy the game plan of Virtu Financial, which would be a great day. Not that I'm saying it's a great day to have Gary Gensler's, all his rules wrapped around all the current rules that are currently out there. But to get rid of the criminals is some really important stuff. We can't have high-frequency traders front-running everything, causing crashes and booms and busts and just fleecing the world. We can't have assets that are rehypothecated over and over and over again, such as the U.S. Treasury note. Yes, massive rehypothecation. Every single share of stock, Apple stock. Look at the volumes. Look at the volumes. No, these aren't real stocks being traded. It's all derivatives. So keep that in mind. All right, so where are we with silver? Same as we ever were. They're holding silver price down below the moving averages, $21.61. Artificial silver price is a gift to you if you don't have any, or if you're looking to build your stockpile. Every week I have been buying silver every week for 15 years. And that is the number one asset in times of trouble that I hold on to. I know what silver is. I know what it's going to be worth when it's freely traded. And it won't be on the COMEX. So right now, here's what they're holding it down under. The moving averages. 50, 100, 200-day moving averages all in the 22, 23 range. They're holding it down. If it goes by history, here's what they do. They hold it down, hold it down, hold it down. When they're ready to run it up, they give you a big slam down. And that is not it. This is not it. The $20.69 is not the big slam down. They're going to give us one big slam down and try to get it out of as many short contracts as possible. And then they're going to run it up and then short as it gets higher. Welcome to America. Really interesting mind game you need to play with yourself is the strength of the dollar. Everybody says, oh, the dollar's going to die. The only way the dollar is valued is versus other fiat currencies when it's talked about in the news. For example, this says, dollar jumps as Kashkari comments trigger bonds, stock, and bullion selling. That's bullshit. That's all bullshit. That's a computer click. And Kashkari knows it more than anybody. He's one of the main clickers behind the scenes. Interesting because he believes in what Larry Summers taught at Harvard, behavioral economics. Behavioral economics is a theory that it's one of those, if you build it, they will come. So if the Fed talks a good game but doesn't do anything, it's going to get people moving in that direction. It's going to force it to happen. Well, that has a lifespan. There's just so many times you can lie to the people. And that's what behavioral economics is lying to people, changing the psychology without changing the reality. If you build it, they will come theory. Austin Goolsbee was a big proponent of that. He was a disciple of Larry Summers. And the Fed is huge about that. No, we have to read every word in the Fed statement to know what's going to happen. They can change any word they want to push you in that direction. And if it pushes hard enough in that direction, they think it'll happen that way. And it has happened time and time again. But the reality is, at some point, you lose confidence in behavioral economics because it's all about lying. Let's stick to the facts, not, hey, let's get people leaning this way so they start moving that way. But that's America. That's what we are in. We are in a fake system with a bunch of liars. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Minneapolis Fed President Neil Kashkari appears to have triggered some turmoil this morning with his two-faced non-committal comments. quote, while I supported increase in the Fed fund rate by 75 basis points at the week's meeting and could support another such move in July, this uncertainty about how much tightening will be needed leads me to be cautious about too much more front loading. I mean, it's all bullshit. And that moved the market. But when the dollar moves, it doesn't move against anything else. Only thing it moves against is the other fiat money. So the dollar is weighed against the euro and the yuan and the yen and the ruble. So dollar strength doesn't mean fiat strength. Fiat is what is failing. $2 quadrillion in derivatives are about to blow, and not one fiat currency will survive that. Not one. Not one savings account, not one checking account, not one 401k, not one retirement fund. I mean, what's going to do well? Cash in your hand. With the banks are closed, that cash can, at least in the beginning, can do very well. Silver, obviously. Gold, if you have to. I mean, there's no reason by now that you haven't swapped all your gold for silver. Gold is great. Silver is 80 times better at an 80-to-1 ratio. 80 times better. That ratio is going 1-to-1. So, yeah, basically, Kashkari is talking a lot of bullshit. And he did it for a reason. They always do it for a reason. Behavioral economics, behavioral finance. If you build it, they will come. If you say, hey, we're going to do this before you do it, they think it has more impact because people start running that way. And then if you do it, they even run faster. So, you have the interesting thing about investment psychology. I've been listening to Andy Schectman. I just posted an interview with Andy Schectman. A great discussion, and he was talking about only 1.5% of the investing public is invested in precious metals. And I'm like, even less than that in silver. And just think, if because of the way the schools teach investing, you have to have so many stocks, so many bonds, so many blahs, and so many of this. When everybody invests in that same stuff, of course it's going to go up. And that's what we've seen over the past 50, 60 years. But the problem is, while everybody's invested in that stuff, when they try to get out, it's like shooting a fire hose through a Dixie cup. It can't happen and everything collapses. That's where we're headed. A world where everything collapses. And it will be run out of the Exchange Stabilization Fund, the Fed, the U.S. Treasury. Why do they want to collapse it now? I would say various reasons. But the number one reason is we're the largest debtor nation in the world. The whole world is swimming in debt. And even those people who think, oh my God, I only have $500,000 loan on my house and it's worth over $1.5 million. Well, what happens if all of a sudden that shrinks to less than $500,000, which it can very easily. I heard if you want to get a loan now to buy a house, it's around 6%. What are you going to do when it's 20%? What's the value of that house going to be? If no one can afford to buy a house, what happens to the value of houses? Housing, I think, yes, I know housing's been a great investment for a long, long time, but that's only because of the massive availability of free money. When that reverses, a house is a depreciating asset. You build it, it starts falling apart from the day after you build it. So without the banks, who's got cash to buy a house? Very few people. What happens to housing prices? They drop 90, 95%. Voila. There goes the best investment. It might be the best investment in an unbacked fiat fractional reserve system where money is free and credit worthiness is not cared about, which has been the last 20 years. I hear the banks are starting to pull back. Not only are interest rates going up, but the availability to credit to shaky credit people. If you don't have spotless credit, good luck getting any loan. And that's where we're headed, mainly because the banks see that the houses are massively overvalued. And without their support, poof, they disappear in a poof. So that's where I think that is. Quick talk about cryptos. Again, cryptos can go down to minus $40. Why I invest in cryptos? Because they are the future. I don't care about short term. Short term is between now and when the banks collapse. What I care about is the future. After the banks collapse, we have to start a new system. And all the framework is there now with Gary Gensler's all the rules for cryptos. It just has to be put into place, voted on by Congress. And once that gets done, it's open sailing for any crypto people. Now, if you're waiting for the big crash in cryptos, that'll come, and I do think it will come with the crash of the banks and all that. Obviously, they'll all go to zero because there's no exchanges trading anything. You won't be able to buy any. You'll have what you have in your pocket, and that's it. Everything else will be caught up in exchanges. Will be dealing with bankruptcies if you're lucky. They all announced they all got hacked at the same time, and people will run off with the money. So between now and the crash, load up on assets you have in your own possession that could survive a crash. If the whole world crashes, do you still have your assets in your possession? How much silver do you have in your possession? How much gold do you have in your possession? How many cryptos do you have in your possession only? Only. Because at the end of the day, no one's going to care about trying to get your assets, because every government around the world is going to care about feeding their people and introducing a new monetary system. How are they going to do that? Anyway, that's the world we live in. I know it's crazy. We did have some good Theta news again. I mean, Theta is just like this after this, doing everything right. Yes, the prices got crushed, absolutely. But take a look at the dashboard and take a look at the amount of Theta staked and amount of T-Fuel staked. Since this crash has begun, the amount of Theta stakes is still above 63%. It's hovered between 63 and 65%. That means the people who know what they're doing, they aren't selling anything. They're just staking. T-Fuel's actually gone up. It was in the low 30s. Now it's close to 40% staked. What are you going to do when Theta is 99% staked? And there's nobody can get their hands on it. And every single big media corporation is dealing with Theta in one way or the other, either through the new blockchains that they can make on the Theta Mainnet 4.0 coming in December. Netflix can build their own blockchain on the Theta network for their own ecosystem. Same with Amazon. And these are two companies that would benefit amazingly from the Theta technology. And oh, by the way, we can also save the world as far as broadband expansion. It's a download. Governments are not going to expand broadband the way they need to, and Theta can assist in that. All Samsung has to do is press click of a mouse, download a Theta Edge node on every one of their devices, smart TVs, smart washing machines, smartphones, smart everything, and you can share that broadband and earn T-Fuel because you were smart enough to buy that Sony Theta compatible device, which is pretty much, most of the devices are Theta compatible as long as you have a hard drive and a decent speed computer on your phone or whatever. It's soon coming to the phone, I believe. You can run an Edge node, share your bandwidth, and at the same time earn T-Fuel. And there'll be more. I was talking to Jenny Moonstone the other day, which is in the video, and we talk about Theta a lot. There's going to be more coins. Get ready. And there'll be more use cases. And we talk about the similarities between Theta and Ethereum. Ethereum can't get their shit together. That is not the platform that businesses will build on. Oh, by the way, all those businesses on Ethereum right now could come over to Theta. It's the same software. It's the easiest thing in the world. Again, a click of a mouse. And it's practically free to run the transactions. Practically free. And fast. Everything that Ethereum's trying to do, Theta has already done it, but done it better. Was that the plan all along? I believe it was. Anyway, that's where we are. Again, click like and subscribe and join the 100,000 subscribers. I love that. Take a screenshot of that, because as soon as they start going after silver investing, people talking about conspiracies in silver, this channel will be long gone. So make sure you go to roadtoruder.com and sign up for the free public updates on the left side. And if you join the private road, we will send you a Ruta Lives coin, hand painted. It's just the coolest coin ever. Double struck. It's just awesome. I love that thing. Those of you who have purchased your coins in May should already have at least an email, a tracking email. All those coins have gone out. Anything purchased after June 1st, should be out in the next 2 weeks. So we'll be all caught up in 2 weeks. So you'll have your beautiful Ruda coin sitting in your hand within the next couple weeks. And if you want to get it today, we'll get it to you within a couple weeks. So join the private road. Hit subscribe today and join in the fun. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.